Hey, Beard Marketing. This is Jamie again with Beard Marketing Services, your bearded guru. I'm. This is also a FAQ that we get a lot, and it's based off of our last week's video. So if you haven't had a chance to watch it on what's better on a local ads, if it's Google versus Facebook on a local level, make sure you jump over there and check it out. But this week we are actually going to look at what is better for a regional or a national level service-based business, Google or Facebook. We're going to look at some pros and cons of Google and some pros and cons of Facebook. Again, like last week, we're going to rank it between 1 and 20 for this. This week, I actually have some cool little graphics for you guys. So, how simple is it to use? We've rated Google at an 18 and Facebook at 11. Now, in reality, when you step back and look at it, everybody thinks and says, "Oh, but Google or Facebook is super simple to set up. Google's complicated." The actual reality of it, though, is Google's targeting the dashboard that they have, as ugly as it may be. It has the ability to have the step-by-step directions on what you need to do. Or if you're using a company like us, it has where you can click over to the expert file. But otherwise, it does have a walkthrough aspect that'll walk you through each and every step on what you need to do, which makes it super simple for almost anybody to use. Facebook, the manager aspect is a lot prettier than Google, but it's also a little bit more complicated. You're not necessarily sure which ads to run. You don't know what the ad sets. You're not sure how many ads to put in there. So it puts a level of complexity in there that Google doesn't have. So we put that down at 11. The work required on there after the setup. So we have Google ranked as a 16 on this, which is a little bit higher than our ranking for it last week. But the reason for it is on a regional or a national level, you're going to want to be in there more. While Google is never a set and forget, it's definitely something that you are going to want to keep an eye on, but you don't have to be in there as much. Now, Facebook, we have it really up there because again that the complexity towards what you're going to be doing, what interest list are you going after, is it going to be a lookalike, is it going to be interest-based targeting, what they actually are interested in, are they, what do they follow, things like that. So there's a lot more work that goes into monthly keeping it up and making sure that everything hits correctly. Now, with the growth, we actually have Facebook or Google, I apologize, at a 20. And the reason for this is really because, you know, Google has an untapped potential to be as large as you want and spend as much money as you want there. They make it very easy to spend more money with them and get great results. So, it's definitely got a huge growth potential and with the competition being much smaller. Again, we'll go over. It was in our last week's video about the amount of users versus the amount of money that was spent. The competition's a lot smaller, which means there's definitely space open for you guys to jump into. Facebook we put down on an 18 on growth wise. The reason for that is you're very limited on the growth aspect. While you can go regional or national or even state by state, the growth of it is feathered down quite a bit. And you're not able to expand as much as you may want to. Cost. So we have actually our colors are backwards on this, so I apologize. We actually have Google as the most expensive and Facebook as the cheapest. So really, in reality, this should look like this. And in reality, this should look like this. So Google is more expensive to run. They will eat up a lot of your budget, but the aspect on that is like we talked about last week. This is intent. So this is permission based ads. You're asking somebody's permission to show you the ads. They go to Google and type a plumber near me, or a plumber in Wisconsin, or largest roofing company in Wisconsin, whatever. They're giving them permission to look, or they're giving you permission to show them ads. Facebook is a lot cheaper, but because it is interruption based marketing, your quality of leads are not going to be as amazing for it. So you're going to pay more for Google, pay less for Facebook, but you're going to have higher quality coming out of Google and lower quality coming out of Facebook. So, in reality, if you break it down by the numbers, Google pays more. But if you ask my personal preference, Google is the winner for this. But we'll let you decide on your side. Now, some pros that we're going to look at real quick. So, for Google, this side is all Google, and this is all Facebook. And I apologize about my messy handwriting, but Troy Dean over at WP Elevation has really got me excited about using my iPad and pen. So I'm actually using it now. So the pros for Google: easy to scale. Like we talked about, it's super easy to scale up your payments, your growth. Really, there's the only thing that is going to cap you. The only two things that are going to cap you at the growth is how much money you have and how many leads are in that area looking for you. But it's super simple to scale. The ad approval is much faster than Facebook can be. The competition is less, and the setup really is easy. The UI, the UX of it is ugly as all get out, but they will walk you through it. Their system will walk you through it to set it up. And then you can really measure your results in the dashboard. There's a lot of things that you can measure in that dashboard that you're not necessarily able to over in Facebook. Now, Facebook's pros are they are the largest social platform out there. They own a bunch of smaller social platforms, which continues to keep them the largest. The targeting for who you're looking for is a lot easier to find on Facebook. You really can get, if you know who you're looking for, you can really target in who you're wanting. As this is interruption based marketing, you just have to make sure your targeting is correct. Ad creation's building out the ads once you know who you're targeting is fairly simple. They have a nice little walkthrough that'll help you, but you have to get your targeting in there first. But the actual ad creation itself, as long as you've got the copy and the graphics, you're good to go. If you don't have the copy and graphics, then it's not so simple, which is also why it is on our con list. So Facebook their AI will continue helping you with targeting and growth as you move along. However, it takes some time to learn who you're looking for and who you are going after. So there is a learning phase for this AI to start working for you. And both systems do retargeting. However, I prefer to do retargeting on Facebook. You run your Google ads and you retarget to Facebook, or you run Facebook ads, retarget to Facebook. The reason for it is most people spend their time on Facebook. So their retargeting is just super easy. It's beautiful to do. All right, so we're going to look at some UGs right here. The dashboard is ugly in Google. It is just straight out ugly. The UI, it just doesn't matter. They haven't really cared about the UI. They are more worried about creating easy ways for you guys to make money and for them to make money. Targeting can be a little bit harder. Now, I know this is going against what we had talked about up top a little bit, but where we're talking about targeting is a little bit harder. Once you are in a region or an area, you have to make sure you're hitting all the right keywords. And if you don't have all the right keywords, your targeting can get harder and harder. Sometimes the easiest keywords are the most expensive. So if you have the right keywords, targeting is easy. If you don't, much like Facebook in the ad creation, it's easy as long as you have the right copy and graphics. Targeting is easy as long as you have the right keywords. If not, makes it harder. Downfall on Google is you pay per click. You pay per click. So every time somebody clicks on your ad, you're charged for it. anywhere from 50 cents up to several $100s I've seen. So you pay per click. That is rough on that one, especially if they go to your site and do nothing. The ads are limited size. Now, they have grown in the past, but they still are very limited on how long your ads can be. And the other thing is, for service-based, we find that the customer life cycle tends to deteriorate pretty quick. So if it's a roofing company, fencing or whatnot, the customer life cycle on Google can drop because there's always competitors on there. Now, for some cons for Facebook, the organic reach, as Facebook more goes to charging more and more for what they do, your organic posts are not seen as much. It's all about the money. So this actually covers two different cons. It's the richest person to get their ads seen the most, where Google is, you're paying for a click, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the biggest budget if you got it right. Or Facebook, the only time your ads are going to be seen is if you're spending more money. The only people that will see it are Facebook users. All right. The conversion rate is super low, very, very low for that. Your ad approval takes a lot longer, and it's a lot easier to get disapproved and even locked on your business manager. And it's difficult to get hold of Facebook. Google, it's easier to get hold of their help center, minus the COVID issue. It's a lot easier to get hold of their help center on chat. Facebook is a lot harder. If you're not spending enough money with Facebook, you are not talking to their chat. You can send in emails. So it really depends on that. So the ad approval, we've listed as a con because it takes longer. It's easier to have them decline. Thus, it's easier to have the potential of them locking your account. And that creates a problem, because if they lock your account on one ad account, odds are they're locking your entire business manager, which could be multiple clients' accounts. So, so there is a problem there. Take weight loss. You want to run ads because you're a gym or supplements or whatever. Weight losses are going to get approved. Anything that seems like it is bashing or making fun of somebody or being exclusive of other people, are fairly easy to get disapproved and also have that potential to be locked down. So some really quick stats that I want to go through. So we talked about this last week, and I want to put this information in here for those of you that were not able to see the videos from last week. Here's some stats from 2019 of Google and Facebook. So so in 2019, Google received $134 billion with the B dollars in advertising. All right, Facebook got $134 billion in advertising. Or I'm sorry, Google, not Facebook. Facebook received $70 billion. So almost 50% less was spent on Facebook than on Google. Now, here's where the fun, interesting part is. So the actual amount of advertisers that were on Facebook and Google. So in Google, there was a little over 4 million advertisers in 2019. So this is 2019. Little over 4 million advertisers spent $134 billion. Okay. Now, in Facebook side, there was a little over 7 million advertisers that spent $70 billion. So there was almost double the amount of advertisers on the network. They spent less than 50%, a little less than 50% of Google spend. So what does this tell you? Really, in reality, what this tells you is there's while the ads are more expensive on Google, there's room to grow. There is plenty of space to move into that marketplace. You're going to spend more money, but they're going to be more qualified, the leads are. Facebook, on the other hand, has way more advertisers in there spending a lot less, which means, yeah, you could up your budget and then start spending more than your nearest competitor and hopefully outrank them. But in reality, you're still going to get the same leads that may not be as qualified. So just some interesting little things for you guys to look at and think about as we chat. So, like always, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell button so that it lets you know when a new video is posted. We will also make sure you're following our Facebook page so that way you can catch our lives that we are doing for you as well. So, again, thank you guys so much for your time going over this. This is the Bearded Guru signing off to the Bearded Nation. Have a wonderful day, wonderful morning, and I will catch you on the flip side.